Hello racing fans, here are the racing games for PlayStation 2 in 2003. ATV Quad Power Racing is the sequel to ATV Quad Power Racing on the PlayStation, with many new features. Choose from 10 of the top professional riders from all over the world, including Dana Creech, Corey Ellis, and Tim Farr. Race through 17 massive tracks in 5 environments, located in challenging countries throughout the world. Get dirty and physically fight with opponents to the finish line, letting them know that you're king off-road. Over-the-top controls and game physics, allowing players to pull huge air and amazingly fun power slides. The North American version of Capcom's cel-shaded racer offers numerous changes and improvements over its Japanese cousin, including 3 new courses, 9 in all, 8 normal and 1 hidden, 9 new American cars, for a grand total of 69 real-world, licensed vehicles, more kinds of races, a slick, all-new opening video, more replay options, improved handling and physics, and additional musical selections. Online play supports up to 8 racers on one track, while offline players can get to grips with the arcade mode, a standard enter and race scenario. Big Mother Truckers is a truck racing game where you are one of Ma Jackson's 4 kids. You have to make money for 60 days. The one who earns most money in that period will get Ma's business. There are plenty obstacles to change your success to failure. Players make cash by trading various commodities in the 5 cities that make up Hick State County, by taking on special jobs, some legal, some not so legal, by wagering with other rival drivers and by causing as much chaos as possible. The Orange Wonder from Down Under is back for another adventure, this time from behind the wheel of a go-kart. Inspired by 1999's hit center, Crash Team Racing, for the original PlayStation, Crash Nitro Kart offers 4-player racing action in a variety of game modes. Players will compete in cup challenges, time trials, and an assortment of multiplayer battles. While speeding along the predominantly outdoor environments, players can run over such items as Wumpa fruit to increase speed, ramps to leap over chasms, and crates to acquire power-ups for offense or defense. Downhill Domination is a video game based on a fictional racing event with fictional racers mixed with a few unlockable professional racers. The game was released exclusively for the PlayStation 2. Downhill Domination includes a very different style of gameplay that differs from standard bike racing games by having the character riding downhill almost exclusively, hence the name, due to the incline of the tracks. Equestrian Showcase puts players in the saddle of their favorite show horses at 3 of the world's most prestigious venues, including the Kentucky 3-day event, Badminton Horse Trials, and Burghley Horse Trials. A 4th event, the Sydney Horse Trials at the Sydney International Equestrian Centre, can be unlocked by earning points during a full championship season at the other 3 venues. Events consist of 3 main challenges: dressage, cross-country, and show jumping, with specific scoring rules and penalties in each. F1 Challenge 99-02 spans 4 entire championship seasons and features accurate team, vehicle, and driver data for each. Across the 4 racing seasons, F1 Challenge 99-02 features 14 different teams, 44 different vehicles, and 17 of the world's most famous racing circuits. The level of detail on the visuals looks to be second to none, with each circuit boasting its own real-life structures, bumps in the track, motion-captured pit crews, animated grid girls, and planes and helicopters in the sky above. Ford is without a doubt one of the biggest and most famous brands in the world. With the Ford brand comes one of the biggest and most famous product ranges ever. Ford Racing Evolution takes this amazing range of vehicles, from the 1968 Mustang to the latest Mustang GT concept car. If you know about the cars, the racing or the famous Blue Oval, then you deserve to take control and have the drive of your life. With so many cars at your disposal, we'll make sure you have a whole host of challenges to put them through. Freaky Flyers takes you into the air for fast and furious racing with an interesting cast of animated characters. You'll either play as or encounter more than a dozen characters, including an American hero, a female bandit from south of the border, and a mellow ambassador of tropical paradise. Explore, adventure, and dogfight in the skies over Danger Island, haunted Transylvania, and roaring Chicago. Pirates, haunted castles, and mob bosses all lie ahead of you. Are you skilled enough to overcome these dangers? Freestyle Metal X is, as the name implies, a motocross stunt game. It contains 9 pro riders and 12 licensed bikes to begin with, plus some secret ones. It is structured somewhat like the Tony Hawk series with a career mode that is a succession of levels, each one containing goals like doing specific tricks, finding gaps and finding things, which could take the form of breaking windows, running people over, etc. In this case, there are also racing goals. Each goal gives you money, which can be used to unlock new riders, bikes and levels. Whip through tight hairpin turns. Overtake competitors with inches to spare. Heat up the brakes after a blazing straightaway run. Experience for yourself the adrenaline rush of F1 racing. It's real F1 racing with all the drivers, cars, teams, sponsors and tracks. Compete to be the world's greatest driver in the most intense race ever created, the Highway 35 circuit. Do you have what it takes to master treacherous jumps, death-defying loops, and win the Hot Wheels World Race event? Hot Wheels Highway 35 World Race, celebrating the 35th anniversary of the Hot Wheels range, features dozens of authentically modeled Mattel Hot Wheels cars. HSX, Hypersonic Xtreme is a futuristic hover sled racing game. Races take place on elevated tracks littered with speed boosts, shield power-ups, and big jumps. There are several game modes, including a cup mode and slalom races, either of which can be played in 2-player split screen. One of HSX's major features is its built-in track editor. The full-featured track editor lets you create your own tracks, complete with flashy special effects. IndyCar Series is the official game of the 2002 Indy Racing League season, including the world-famous Indianapolis 500. It's a fast-paced racing sim with up to 33 cars racing on track at a time, at speeds well over 220 miles per hour. The game features commentary by Bob Jenkins, and a masterclass training mode taught by Indy 500 winner Eddie Cheever Jr. Based on the movie remake of the 1969 film, The Italian Job is the story of a gang of thieves who stage the ultimate gold heist of all time. Little do they know that one of their gang members has double-crossed them, taking the gold and leaving them for dead. As a member of the team, it is your job to stage the next big heist of all time, taking back the gold from your former friend. The game allows you to control a range of vehicles which you must drive to destinations before a certain time limit in order for the plan to work. The King of Route 66 is an arcade-style 18-wheeler driving game. The game takes place on the famous Route 66, a highway that runs through America from Illinois to California. This game features a story mode in which the evil Tornado Corporation has taken over all the trucking jobs along Route 66. You play a hero trucker who challenges tornado drivers all along the route and puts them in their place by getting your cargo to the destination first. This game mode, called the King of Route 66, plays mostly like a sequel to 18-wheeler. Miniature cars, motorcycles, boats and more compete in an oversized world where anything, and everything, can happen. Players choose one of 8 crazy characters to speed through a variety of ingenious racing environments, including a sci-fi laboratory, a beachside setting and the ghoulish graveyard. Each track offers outrageous mad dash action with ramps, tunnels, obstacles and hazards of all kinds. Speedsters can grab wacky power-ups, bazookas, magnets, giant frying pans that'll send their opponents out of control. Races consist of a series of checkpoints, represented by columns of light. In some races, the order in which the checkpoints must be cleared is prescribed. In this case, a transparent, glowing arrow points to the next checkpoint. In other races the checkpoints may be cleared in any order. In that case, the arrow points to the nearest checkpoint. In-game screenshot of Midnight Club 2. It is up to the player which route to take from one checkpoint to the next. There are no artificial barriers in the game's open-world environment that force the player to stay on a specific course. Any area that is drivable or jumpable in the free-roaming cruise mode between races may be used to get to the next checkpoint. Whether you're grinding through mud pits in Louisiana, crunching up cliffs in California, or smashing up trees to make the ride a little bumpier for the guy behind you, keep your eyes on the prize. The cash you earn on the circuit goes to buy new trucks and build up your ultimate monster machine. Tier through 30 monster events, including brutal stadium circuits, merciless exhibition arenas, and the hairiest off-road circuits your tires have ever seen. Soup up your truck with speed, traction, and other power-ups to give your opponents a run for their money. Smoke the competition as you blaze through well-known US locations. Take to the track on the greatest 2-stroke and 4-stroke motorbikes in the world, as you attempt to win the World Motorcycle Championship. Choose from Arcade, a simple game of MotoGP, with a set amount of laps on any of the tracks in the game. Season, attempt to win the world title by challenging the other riders in the field over a course of tracks in all types of weather conditions. Challenge, tricky mini-games that have you attempting to complete certain events in time trial. The simple test your skill and beat the clock mode. NASCAR Thunder 2004 is a racing simulator by EA Sports, released in 2003 and available in separate versions for PS1, PS2, Xbox, and PC. It features the 2002 champion Tony Stewart on the cover with a scowling look to represent the new grudges and alliances featured. It was the only game as of 2002 to feature the previous Winston, Sprint, Cup champion on the cover. The game had the most extensive soundtrack of the series, up from 4 songs from the previous game. Need for Speed Underground is the 7th game in the long-running Need for Speed racing series. Underground revolves around illegal nighttime street racing with heavily modified import cars and has been greatly influenced by the movie The Fast and the Furious and its sequel. Players get the chance to build their own racing machine almost from ground up, with hundreds or real licensed parts and lots of licensed cars, including the Mazda RX-7 and the Nissan Skyline GT-R. The game also features over 100 single-player races and a hip-hop hard rock soundtrack, including artists such as Mystical, Rob Zombie, and The Crystal Method. Not your ordinary racer, our Racing Evolution features a story mode, in-game radio communications, and authentic licensed cars. Our Racing Evolution chronicles the intense competition and deep rivalries found only within the professional racing circuit. Upgrade and modify your vehicle to compete in 5 game modes, including Racing Life, Event Challenge, Time Attack, Arcade, and Versus. New features such as the interactive driver AI system and in-game radio communications bring players close to the racing action. Roadkill presents an action-packed, mission-based combat driving experience. To survive, you must outdrive, outgun and outthink rival gangs, city guards, and anyone else gunning for you in the living, post-apocalyptic territory of Hell County. With the ability to build up a powerful gang following, you'll unleash havoc, chaos, and destruction on the environment and its inhabitants with a wide selection of vehicles, a potent armory of weapons, and special equipment in both single-player and various multiplayer game modes. No rules radio-controlled racing through living off-road worlds with giant objects, giant animals and giant people. Multiple shortcuts hidden on the tracks make for a more exciting racing and add more intrigue to overcoming opponents. Knocking over and hitting loose objects located on the track allow the player to pick up bonuses. It will take nerves of steel and lightning-fast reflexes to make your way through the crowded streets of Speed Kings. In the world of street motorcycle racing, you'll weave through traffic, pull off flashy stunts, run from police, and race to the finish line. Your high-performance bikes, including sport, road, touring, and custom models, each have their own type of handling and top speeds. Perform jumps, power downs, skids, wheelies, and stoppies. But be careful, failed attempts at these tricks result in real-time damage to both bike and rider. Watercraft racing returns to the PlayStation 2 with Splashdown, Rides Gone Wild. Bigger waves, swift currents, steep downhill grades, and technical indoor stadiums make Splashdown's sequel trickier than ever. New locales include Cannonball Cove, Polar Plunge, deals with Alex X as he tries to deal with the remains of Nostra, which have all formed separate groups. He eliminates the head of the Russian faction, the Cossack, before moving to New Orleans to meet Senator Noah Thurgood. However, a clone of the Interceptor, the main vehicle, destroys Thurgood's car, and escapes by causing a diversion, attacking an IE's boat. Alec proceeds to kill the man behind the attack, Mad Mojo Carter, leader of the American faction of Nostra. Starsky and Hutch is an arcade racing game based on the popular TV series from the 70s, released to tie in with the film. The game includes 18 missions, each based on an episode of the TV show and introduced by Antonio Huggy Bear Fargas. There is also a free roaming mode, in which the player explores the GTA-esque environment looking for action and trouble. Like the film, the game does not entirely play it straight. Starsky and Hutch are actually shooting a TV show, and the scoring for each mission reflects how ratings-friendly your driving is. Developed by the same team responsible for the MTV Music Generator series, Super Trucks Racing is a truck-based driving title that offers every official Super Trucks driver, sponsor, circuit, logo, and locations from the 2002 season. Its most renowned feature, however, is likely its physics engine, which is definitely among the most realistic of the time. Tokyo Xtreme Racer 3 improves over its 2001 racing predecessor Tokyo Xtreme Racer 0 through new highways, new cars and a new graphics engine. The gameplay remains the same, as the player has to find his rivals on the highways and challenge them to a battle. In this edition there are over 600 rivals to beat on 3 different highways including Tokyo, and 2 newcomers, Osaka and Nagoya. It also contains a number of licensed cars, new to the series. This 5th installment in the Tokyo Xtreme series focuses more on the drifting style of racing and has 2 different distinctive challenges of racing included in the game. Players can race professionally during day races, earning money to upgrade their cars and try to get the big sponsorships. During night races, players can race for pride, along with the ability to bet money and even car parts. Players will race in the scenic mountains of Japan, in real-life courses on uphill and downhill races and even during varying weather.